Once upon a time, there was a group of children living in a quiet and peaceful coastal town. These children would spend their evenings playing outside until late at night to enjoy the beach. However, one night, their innocent fun would turn into a dark secret. James, Emily, Oliver, and Lily set out towards the beach as usual one late afternoon. As the sun set, they ran on the sand and laughed along with the melody of the sea. However, as night fell, the weather suddenly changed. The wind grew louder, the sound of waves intensified, and the moonlight shrouded the shore in a mysterious atmosphere. The children started passing the time by joking around and telling each other scary stories. However, Emily's story truly frightened the others. She claimed that there was an old graveyard on the beach and that ghosts roamed the shore at night. Although Oliver didn't believe Emily's story, the others were still uneasy. Nevertheless, they gathered their courage and continued walking along the beach. However, after a while, their doubts about the truth of Emily's story increased. Suddenly, they noticed a light in the distance. At first, they thought it might be a ship or a lantern, but as they approached, they realized a horrifying truth. There was someone in a dark cave near the graveyard. The children panicked and tried to retreat, but their feet felt as if they were stuck in the sand. They heard a spine-chilling sound coming from the cave. Then, a shadow swiftly emerged from the cave and started running towards them. Screaming in terror, they began to flee. However, with each step they took, they could feel the shadow getting closer. Finally, when they reached the beginning of the beach, they stopped, panting for breath. When they looked back, the shadow had disappeared. The children would never forget the terrifying moments they experienced that night. They had become part of a dark secret hidden in the depths of the coastal town, and going to the beach at night would never be as innocent an activity for them again. The next day, the children recounted their terrifying experience to each other, but no one could understand what had truly happened. James insisted that what they saw in the cave was just a shadow, but the others remained worried. A few days later, Uncle Jack, an old and wise fisherman from the town, approached the children. Having lived by the shore for many years, Uncle Jack knew the town's history and secrets well. He told the children that there used to be a group of pirates living in the depths of the shore, and they had hidden a treasure in the cave. However, to protect the treasure, they had created a cursed creature. Even after the pirates' deaths, the creature continued to guard the treasure. Uncle Jack explained that the shadow they saw was one of these cursed beings. Although the children didn't want to believe the story, they remembered the frightening night they had experienced. Now they had to confront the secrets lying within the town. However, they were determined to find the treasure and put an end to the curse. The following night, led by Emily, the children ventured towards the cave. Their hearts were pounding, but they were resolute. When they arrived at the cave, they cautiously entered and started to explore the dark corridors. Deep inside, in a dark chamber, they saw a glimmering treasure chest. However, right beside it, a dark shadow appeared. The children tried to retreat to avoid the creature's attack, but this time, their escape was blocked. Just then, Emily's hand began to emit a radiant light. She held an old necklace she found inside the treasure chest, which was shining brightly. When the shadow saw this light, it started to retreat slowly. Eventually, it vanished into the depths of the dark cave. Though they didn't dare to take the treasure, the children grabbed Emily's necklace and hurriedly left the cave. Even though they left the treasure behind, they felt the curse had been lifted. When they returned to the coastal town, they shared their experience with Uncle Jack. He explained that the necklace belonged to an old family in the town, and by finding it, they had broken the curse. The children were no longer afraid to visit the beach at night. For them, the shore was not only a place of dark secrets, but also a symbol of courage and friendship. On the edge of a small town stood an old abandoned house. Many years ago, a family lived here, but due to strange events, their home was abandoned. The townspeople believed that the house was cursed and no one dared to approach it. However, a group of brave young people were determined to solve the mystery of this dark house. Ethan, Sophia, Noah, and Mia gathered their courage and set out towards the old house on the winter night. The house, whose shadows grew under the snow, formed an eerie silhouette among the other buildings of the town. The door creaked on its old hinges and the young people stepped inside. It was dark and quiet inside. However, with every step, the walls were filled with strange sounds that echoed in his ears. After taking a few steps, they saw a faint light shining from one of the rooms. When they approached with curiosity, they realized that the source of the light was an old lamp. Under the lamp, there was a table and chairs. There was a notebook and pen on the table. Sophia took the notebook and started to leaf through the pages. However, every single page was blank, not a single word written on it. Suddenly, they heard rustling in the house. The flashlight in Noah's hand illuminated a figure in the corner of the room. However, they could not see what it was because it quickly disappeared. In fear, the young people hugged each other. Then, the walls of the room slowly began to move, and the teens felt like they were being pulled into some kind of tunnel. For a moment, everything was covered in darkness. After a while, the darkness around them dispersed and the young people found themselves in an old cellar. There were strange symbols on its walls, and in the middle stood an old and rusty chest. They approached with curiosity and opened the chest. Inside was an old dress decorated with strange figures and a letter. When they read the letter, the silence suddenly broke and they felt a dark force surrounding them. In panic, the young people took the letter and the dress and fled from the cellar. As they entered the house, the door closed behind them and led them out. In the cold winter night, they went out to the illuminated streets of the town with timid steps. The other young people of the town did not want to believe what Ethan, Sophia, Noah, and Mia were going through. However, their journey home that night convinced them to now feel something of the mystery of this dark house. The next day, Ethan, Sophia, Noah, and Mia told the other town residents about their experiences. However, no one wanted to believe what they said. Yes, they admitted that the dark house was mysterious, but they did not want to believe that supernatural events were happening like the young people experienced. However, that night, strange things started happening around town. People were hearing strange noises at night, and some were seeing strange shadows in their homes. Some even claimed to have seen ghosts wandering around the dark house. When Ethan, Sophia, Noah, and Mia see the town shaken by strange events, they become determined to unravel the secrets of the dark house. This time, they began investigating the town's scariest stories and the history of the house. During their research, they found a book in the old neighborhood library. The book told the history of the town and the past of the dark house. According to what they learned from the book, the family living in the house was engaged in strange rituals years ago. One night, as a result of the rituals, the house was covered in a curse and the family was forced to leave. The teens came together to find a way to end the curse. Their search ended when they found an ancient family mask and a sacred incense hidden in the house. They decided to use these objects to lift the curse. One night, when they came to the dark house, they gathered their courage and entered. The house was quiet, but they felt tension inside. Wearing masks and burning incense, they began to wander into every corner of the house. Deep inside, when they reached the ancient ritual chamber, they prepared to lift the curse. As they burned the incense, they saw dark shadows dancing around the room. However, thanks to the power of their masks and their determination, they were able to resist the cursed forces. Finally, the smoke from the incense enveloped the entire house, and the dark house fell silent once again. The young people felt that the curse was lifted and left the house together. Without looking back, they walked towards the illuminated streets of the town. When the townspeople saw the courage and determination of the young people, they left their fears about the dark house behind. And from that day on, no strange events occurred around the dark house.
If you don't click on this video, you will miss a very nice horror story. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.